I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Bugs life indeed. There's bugs and they're living. So far we're 100% on brand. Great intro. There's bugs and there's ants and the ants are hauling food. Isn't there another movie named Ants where the ants look exactly like these ants? So the ants haul food and a leaf falls in front of them and they're afraid to go around it. What is happening? The princess is worried there's a gap in the line and she's confronted by, it's okay, gaps happen. Which is what mall managers tell Forever 21 when the cool new clothing store opens up next to them. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those today. The princess says she feels like the sky is falling and just then a branch squishes her, like not dead, but it's still really funny how it flattens her. You kind of have to see it. There's an inventor ant. He has wacky inventions and he's the comedic relief, and I wonder if he has a dreamy daughter who likes books in the color yellow. The inventor is actually turning into the main character now. He tries to pep talk a little ant and it backfires. Ant version of sirens go off and it's ant panic. They fill the offering stone with food and scurry underground, and the animation is tight. Inventor ant tosses his latest failed invention as he runs back, but then the backpack thing he invented rumbles towards the offering stone and spills it. They all wait underground and they hear, "Hey, where's all the food?" Then all hell breaks loose as holes begin to be pounded into the ground as the grasshopper overlords burrow below. The evil grasshopper leader is named Hopper, and I'm so happy to see the guy that named the GoBots back in the 1980s is getting work again. Yep, named him Hopper. This is some good writing right here. That's good. Hopper talks down to the princess, and I'm getting an awkward, about to see violence against women vibe, but we pivot, and the circle of bug life is explained. The ants collect food, and the grasshoppers eat the food they collect. Hopper gets mad and punches another grasshopper in the face, and he falls over and his legs stick up in the air, and that's pretty funny. This is a violent movie for Disney already. I'm not complaining. Hopper snatches a baby ant and threatens to feed her to some psychopath grasshopper. Okay, now I'm complaining. This is terrifying. What's going on? This is dark. Can't say I've seen the open threat of feeding a child to a monster in front of his family in a Disney movie yet. This is a first. The innovator's name is Flick, and Flick steps forward and tells him not to feed the child to the crazy grasshopper, and Hopper says, "Come take her from me." He completely out and slinks back into the shadows. Yeah, Flick is such a coward. He'll just let the child be eaten. Wow. The grasshopper instead says they want double the food rations by the end of the season. Flick wants to fix what he broke, must be an inventor thing, and he has an idea to leave to find bigger bugs to help them fight off the grasshoppers, and Ant City Council is like, yeah, whatever, just leave. Flick is a complete bumbler. A couple kids trash talk him as he leaves. "My dad says you'll be back in an hour." Another kid says, "Not my dad." Flick smiles as he continues. "My dad says you're just gonna die." Oh, I love this movie. Flick is on his journey. We cut to 2 bugs play fighting. Oh, okay, wait, it's a live circus show. There's an entire troupe of circus bumbler bugs, and I think I know where this is going. There's fireflies who use their butts as spotlight for this live production. That's kind of funny. There's a ladybug who's a dude and is tired of the jokes. Are there dude ladybugs? Is that a thing? I'm overwhelmed by bug puns. Like, there's too many to write down. They're coming too fast and too hard. There's like a very Muppet Show vibe to this. The crowd hates the live circus show and begins to leave, and the ringmaster ups the stakes and promises a fire show. He has matches stacked up and a caterpillar is bouncing up and down on one of those rectangular tin lighter fluid containers. For the first time in my life, I realized how amazingly rewarding that glue sound is from those things. The ringmaster ends up getting burnt, and the 3 bugs in the crowd sad clap and yell, "Burn him again!" Love this movie. Flick shows up, and just as the mass exodus happens from the circus, then he's in the big city. It's actually pretty cool. It's like Times Square, but the tall buildings are food boxes. I like that. There's a bug begging for money with a sign that says, Kids pulled my wings off. Not sure how I feel about that. Flick walks into some bar and these bugs order 2 black flag shots. Amazing. Circus troupe has been fired. They're in the bar drinking. A drunk mosquito orders a Bloody Mary O positive. Some flies try to start a fight with a ladybug, so the troupe puts on a performance about how they're so tough, and Flick sees it and thinks it's real. Here we go. Flick tells them he needs them, and here comes the Three's Company misunderstanding. That's if you're old. Or the Friends misunderstanding if you're kind of old, or whatever the current sitcom on Netflix is these days that rely on comically exaggerated misunderstandings to push episodic plots forward. Flick thinks they're legit fighters. They think Flick is hiring them for a theater performance. Flick returns with his army of theater students. The second grade elementary school gifts the acting troupe with a drawing of them slaughtering grasshoppers, and they awkwardly accept it, very confused. That is really funny. This is great. The circus group finally figures it out, and they whisper the truth to Flick. Flick flips and drags them away. This movie is picking up. Circus bugs! How can you be circus bugs? They want to leave and Flick is terrified. He asks them to just squish him before they leave. Like, seriously, just squish me, he begs. The troupe is about to leave when a bird comes, and birds trump everyone on the food chain. This is chaos. The bird is about to eat bugs, and the troupe rises up and saves the day. So the brave heroes that weren't brave heroes are now brave heroes. No, wait, the inventor gets a better idea. When the princess says that even hoppers are afraid of birds, he wants to build a bird. Bird building montage. Yeah, building a bird in this movie. Sometimes this movie seems like a sequel. Like, some of the jokes or gags have zero depth. At one point, a ladybug is playing poker against some children. The adult ladybug lays his cards down and goes to collect the pot. And then some little kid bug lays his cards down and says, "Read 'em and weep." Like, I don't get why that's funny or necessary. This is like a 10-second scene. We've never seen any of these bugs playing cards before. It's a bizarre addition. I guess they're expecting kids watching this to double over in laughter because a kid beat an adult at an adult card game. But I mean, you have to have a basic understanding of poker to get to the place in the game where it becomes a hand versus hand. You know what I mean? Right? Like, so I'm to assume these kids were picking up and discarding cards to build their hand before this happened. So why is the ladybug so surprised? You know, it doesn't matter. Anyways, okay, montage over. They have built a giant bird. I think a funny moment would have been if a real bird came back and like tried to mate with this thing, and as it was mating with the fake bird just fell apart, and the rest of the movie then was like a horror movie from the real bird's perspective as his mental health deteriorated and unraveled after that unexpected turn of events. Like, how would you deal with something if that ever happened to you? Something like that. Like, not a bird, but another... Okay, this is getting dark. Never mind. This is terrifying. Disregard that. The grasshoppers are at some grasshopper bar drinking. Then it gets all political. The grasshoppers don't want to go back to Ant Island. But what about that one ant that stood up to us? We get a quick lesson in uprising. The ants outnumber them 10-1, and if they ever figure it out, quote, "We would not only have a basic foreshadowing, but a spoiler for the obvious climax of the movie." Okay, maybe that wasn't a quote, that was me. Back on Ant Island, and for the record, if this movie came out in present day, there would be an online group of angry young men wondering why there wasn't an Uncle Island as well. But I digress. Princess has done a complete 180 and is now interested in Flick. Alright, go time. The hoppers are back on Ant Island. Nope, swerve. It's the troupe's old circus boss. He's looking for the clowns, and the gig is up. The ants now know the circus troupe aren't warriors, and Flick is indeed still an idiot. That cools off the princess real quick. The queen says she never thought she'd see the day one ant put himself in front of the entire colony. And now I'm not sure what the message of this movie is. I thought this was about slavery and or oppression. Okay, now the hoppers are back, and they don't have enough food for them. Is about to get real in Bugtown. It's like someone is about to make a mountain out of a molehill. Hopper goes ballistic and demands all their food, and he creepily kidnaps the old queen. The ant children, who are apparently skilled card hustlers, charge off into the grass and hide, and they overhear how the plan is to squish the queen after they get all the food and send a message. I love when the bad guys yell the secret plan to each other. There's nothing better. The mentally ill grasshopper is on a tear trying to eat the children. How is this character approved? This is 2/3 penny in a bucket disturbing. The circus is already on the outskirts of town, and they're trying to cheer up Flick, who's been exiled and is now a carny like the rest of them. One child catches up to the circus troupe and tells Flick the plan he overheard, and suddenly the circus troupe wants to help, and they're suddenly tough. I'm so confused. When they bailed, did they think the hoppers were only gonna come back and tickle fight them or something? Maybe they went to go with Plan B or Plan Bird, because it's already the next morning. Okay, serious Plan B. Okay. Just as I try to make a joke, they have a scene where the hoppers are rounding all the ants up into one group, and there's some basic Auschwitz imagery here as the guards push and bully the ants as they march by in one long giant line. Me saying that is in no way supposed to be funny in any way. That's one That 1 7-second scene put me in a really dark place. I know the importance of never allowing mankind to forget the atrocities of the past, but do we really want this in a Disney movie? I don't know. Weird call. Anyway, the comedy troupe returns and starts entertaining the Hoppers. The troupe needs a volunteer, and they try to take the queen from the grasshoppers, and Hopper lets her go and says, maybe they'll saw her in half, and does this cocky giggle. And I know that's supposed to make me hate him, but the verbal delivery of that line was really passive-aggressively funny, and I kind of like Hopper now. All right, Flick and the kids gear up, and Project Bird, they send it down at the Hoppers. The fake bird scares the real Hoppers, and here we have possibly the biggest bumbler movie in the entire Disney movie library. The stupid ringmaster lights the fake bird on fire out of fear. Yes, one of the good guys ruins the entire good guy plan. The new jig is up, and Hopper wants to know whose plan this was. Flick comes clean, and Hopper snaps his finger, and the psychopath grasshopper beats the out of Flick. Like Fight Club beats up Flick. Like Casino in the Desert with Bats beats up Flick. My God. Hopper gives a speech about how ants are nothing but slaves, and the almost corpse known as Flick gives a speech, and suddenly the ants realize what Hopper feared and band together and go on the offense. Hopper's army bail, and Hopper is captured, and they stuff him in the mini circus cannon. They're about to fire him when it starts raining, and apparently rain is immediate death to ants. Okay? Suddenly we have ants that are afraid of Hoppers, and both are afraid of birds, but ants are also afraid of rain. Hopper gets loose and is trying to kill Flick and the princess. The animation is incredible here. This chase/fight scene with the running and the lightning and the rain, amazing. Hopper starts to strangle Flea, like hands around his throat, strangle him, but another bird shows up and Hopper assumes it's another fake one, but it's actually a real one who snatched Hopper, and wait for it, I'm not making this up, you might want to sit down. In a Disney movie, a bird takes the villain grasshopper and feeds the grasshopper alive to 3 baby birds. This is happening. All right, it's over. The circus troupe say their goodbyes, and everyone claps for Flick. The princess becomes the queen. They shoot grass fireworks. I'm confused. The final shot pulls out, and we see what kind of looks like the Tree of Life from The Lion King. The uprising was successful, and the celebration continues in a high-energy dance anthem by Randy Newman. It plays over the credits. Randy Newman's famous speed vocal staccato whips me into a tizzy. Just kidding. It's a regular Randy Newman song. Why Randy Newman? Do ants like Randy Newman? Well, I guess, ending with an ant pun. This movie deserves so much better.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and